Okay, how do we begin the Lord Knight Direct? We're going to begin with this. You guys are still excited about fighting games in 2025? The point of these games are to mimic the real world, real environments, etc. How does anyone still thinks 2D fighters, period, are except space able is laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji? Just imagine Street Fighter 6 in 3D or Mortal Kombat in 3D. The fact we have all this computing power, but Tekken is the only true 3D AAA title is sickening to me. We have to move past this crap. Well, guess what? I'm not moving past this shit. We're playing 2D fighters in 2026. I want to talk about what I did in 2025. I say as I put my stick down. And what I want to do in 2026. Unfortunately for this fella, I am still excited about 2D fighting games in 2026. I woke up today and I was like, I get to boot up a 2D fighter. Smiley face. So where do we even begin? Where do we even begin with this? I want to talk about life stuff first. We have basically 5 chapters. Okay, let's not put in chapters. We're gonna start with life stuff. The place I want to begin is here. For 2025. My barber recognized me from a Spanish translated short about a Wolfie FGC video. I couldn't find it. I was trying to find this shit. And I go there once every 2-3 weeks. One day he goes, "Hey, is this you?" And he's playing the short of when Wolfie made the Pokemon Center, the Pokemon Gym in New York City. And I was there, but it was pre-beard. So he like kind of recognized me, but he was like, what? Not a flex, just thinking about the impact of stuff that I put out. Because locally, like where I live, occasionally, like 2 or 3 times a month, I will get stopped on the street or something. Or like we went to a Mexican restaurant like half an hour from here, and like one of the waiters was like, oh shit, and like hooked us up. That was cool. It's mostly good. It's like 95% good. It's great because the number one thing for me is that a lot more people are engaging with fighting games than we realize. I knew this already from doing content, you know, like when I started Dragon Ball and stuff and reading everything. Before I started doing content, I only paid attention to competitive stuff, and that's about like 1 to 2% max of like everyone who plays. Another thing that I did this year is this: single-handedly raised usage stats last month. Let's go. Imagine this was actually true. This is one of the least used characters in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. You might be like, why? But it's because I played in the Grand Slam. Since 2024, I've had a goal of playing more fighting games again. Originally, I played a shit ton of fighting games, and you can actually find footage of me playing like Vampire Savior and like, if you dig like Vanguard Princess, all sorts of games are kind of hard. But around Exerd, Guilty Gear Exerd, I was like, you know what? Like, I've done a bunch of stuff in fighting games. I want to kind of lock in on a main game and just like put like, what if I just put all my focus in one game? I stuck by that for a long time, and I didn't really have times playing multiple fighting games. And right now, I'm not actively practicing multiple fighting games. The only game I play like basically is Guilty Gear, but I make sure to keep on trying new stuff. So there's Grand Blue, and Grand Blue is the most. I spent like 3 weeks on Grand Blue, and then 2XKO, I spent like 3 weeks on 2XKO. I tried Fatal Fury this year, and I tried Avatar this year. Of course, I also tried, and I don't know if I did this properly, so we're gonna see. I did try hashtag nan it up. I did try this. I can say I did try one of the categories for Game of the Year. I'm so surprised they sponsored me to play this game, man. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Honestly, shocked. They actually paid me to play this game. I did play it for 2 hours. What else happened in 2025? I low-key almost died. Maybe people forgot. I was on a plane to Evo, and we almost rear-ended another plane on landing, and the plane pulled up back to the air within like 50 feet of landing. And they blamed it on air traffic control. And on the plane, we were all like, what the fuck is happening? And when I told somebody, they were like, holy fuck, that shit is giga spooky that happened to you. And once I learned that, I have been trying to be more than a little bit. I've been trying to just do more, be more grateful, and like be more urgent about stuff that I want to do and stop putting off stuff, and also just be like more focused on stuff. So this was a big wake-up call. This was a big wake-up call, but luckily, again, nothing would happen. I made this joke like, yo, I could have been on the news in not a good way. And once I calmed down a little bit, I was like, all right, this is what happened. I say it like that. Maybe I could have been injured. Maybe people could have been injured. Basically, it was very spooky, and this kind of set me right. This is also just days after my birthday too. Maybe like a couple of days after my birthday. So I was like super shook about this. But this made me be like, all right, we are going to just take this as a wake-up call and really focus up. a little bit. What else happened last year? We had the FGC Colosseum. This is actually archived on Esteban's channel. You might have seen it. I don't think they did a great job promoting it, but they raised 30K for charity. And I was asked to do this along with a bunch of other prominent fighting game members, right? So like Li Joe was there, Justin Wong was there. A little weird at the beginning because nobody really knew what was supposed to be going on, but as time went on, everyone got really comfortable, and I thought this was super fun. Another really good thing about this was that people got to connect a little bit more. So there are people who are involved in the community that I got to basically spend time with that I never do, or I never knew them very well. Like Babe Ruthless is a good example, or like Saint Cola. Obviously I know Saint Cola, but it's like we don't like talk or chill or anything like that. It seems they're doing this again next year, so if I can do it again, I would love to do it. What else happened last year? Well, you might be like, what is this? What the fuck is this? You gotta kind of be a boomer to know what this image is. I use this as a meme semi-regularly. This is the imprisoning war from Zelda. My first video game actually in my life is Zelda Link to the Past. What a dub, right? I used it. The biggest impact was for this. The Dark Era is coming because assists will be called because people were celebrating the tag fighter era. So what happens? 2XKO is pretty much out, and there's a date for it for console. I don't know if Invincible has a date, and all we know about Tokon is coming out at the end of the year. This is probably the single biggest story I think in fighting games, is that there's just out of nowhere there's just a ton of tag fighters coming out. There's other stuff, right? There's Indie, there's Avatar, but especially these three are probably the big things people are looking at for new games this year. The big thing is, famously, I don't think tag games are good fighting games. Technically, I think many fighting games are bullshit, but I think tag fighters are even more bullshit, and tag players don't like saying it. They always like, it's peak, and I'm like, just say it's peak because it's broken. Just say you like broken shit. And most of them just won't do it. They just say, I don't understand, as if I haven't played the games before. This one's a very interesting one. Invincible versus, I feel like not a lot of people are talking about it. And this one kind of stands out in that it's a Western dev. So these two are Western devs, and it's very KI coded, everyone says. 3v3 also. So these two are 3v3s. It seems Invincible and Marvel are about a lot of like new stuff, especially Marvel. I can't say that much for Invincible because I don't have that much time. I only played like a very early alpha of this game. So I don't really know how people feel about this. I want to try an updated version of this game at some point. I also want to try it because I want to keep up with my, hey, I should try new fighting games. I have to tell myself to do it, because if not, I'm gonna go into high up in my tower and study Guilty Gear nonstop. So I think this is definitely the elephant in the room. But 2X is here now, and 2X not only does it do, to me, it's such a polarizing game because it does such good things and then such weird things at the same time. But I think the most important thing now is that it's out, and that there's a lot of developer communication, and they are immediately supporting grassroots stuff. And right now, grassroots is pretty important to me, and I think to fighting game players in general. Another story is we gotta talk about the memes of 2025, because this actually happens at the same time as this, right? It's a little smushy because I didn't realize someone moved this out of my fucking room studio. But I got this last year. I got it officially. The plaque came in 2025. So I got the 100K. I'm super, super, super proud of this. And I really, 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 really appreciate everybody who watches my content and says I help them learn or help them like figure out stuff about fighting games, or I talk about interesting stuff. But that I got this at the same time as this exploding, the Snow Bunny mind control meme. If you search in Google Images, Lord Knight, one of the things that they will say that you will see is Lord Knight Snow Bunny meme. This thing blew the fuck up. By the way, is like an hour before I start vomiting nonstop, I think. Someone even made fan arts for it from Marvel Rivals. This is Cloak and Dagger, who I've never fucking heard of before Marvel Rivals, and this fella, Pen Perun, made a fan art of it. If it wasn't for this being the Eternal, I've had this as my profile picture since 2011. If it wasn't for that, I would have changed my profile pic to that. Oh, by the way, for those wondering, I am in this picture, by the way. I'm back here. You see this right here? That's where I am. I'm surprised this one did not blow up that much, by the way. What could I possibly be pointing at? Here, as you could tell, I am not insanely drunk. Compared to this No Bunny Mind Control picture where I am fucking so giga hungover and fighting for my life. This was another one. I am actually sad I did not finish this. The funniest part is BB came out now. You know how they do like Zato Bros and Oscar Bros and Viking Bros? We would have Bang Bros playing BBC Sex. I can't make this shit up. I actually can't make this shit up. How do they do it with these fucking acronyms in that, man? When this version was active, every fucking body was making this joke about BBCS Extend. And then when they dropped Chrono Phantasma, we were like, dude, why did you make a game called Blaze Blue Chrono Phantasma? Another one that was bigger than this, I just like this personally, was this.
Why isn't this working? Is there something missing? Must more blood be shed?
You might be like, in what context? This is the context. Originally, because this is like, when was this posted? A day apart, right? 24 hours on the internet is a long time, as we all know. Not only the combination of these two probably has close to 1 million views, but also this was being posted everywhere. This was being posted like someone posted that they saw this on Instagram.
There's nothing. Thank you, Shen.
This ended up not being true. There was a couple out of it. Only took more than 1 million views, but they're like 3 or 4. Another one I really liked. This is gonna take you back.
Let me sell Guilty Gear to Tekken players. I have the perfect sell. Guilty Gear is about to be one of the biggest game this year. Ready? If you get hit, you could combo breaker them and send them full screen. That's not hype?
Yeah.
There you go. You know what Tekken doesn't have?
Burst.
You can't burst Jack 8. I could burst Goldless one time. Not only that, you won't die to Oki because you break the wall like Tekken. And
that's a lie, Loki. That's a blatant lie, by the way.
Street Fighter, you can't break the wall. That game's bullshit.
True.
Come. I'll welcome all of you.
Yeah. Yep. Because of Tekken Season 2, people were losing their mind at Tekken 8 Season 2. People were losing their mind, and I only actually learned Tekken in 2024 in Season 1. And one of the characters I really didn't like was Jin Kazama. The clip that got me to also not like Tekken 8 Season 2 was a clip of Jin. When I saw that Jin was stupid, I was like, nah, the game's bad. There's also this meme.
If I was a Fire Emblem unit, I'm on the bench right now, bro. This is really bad.
I'm proud of this mostly because it's hashtag sponsored. Sponsors love this shit. 1, I thought it was funny. 2, I never played Aimlance before. And I got fucked. 3, I low-key got memed by people saying my accuracy is shit. And I'm like, of course, I'm practicing Guilty Gear. And 4, it's so natural. It's just so 8 seconds of just...
My accuracy is 10%, dude.
Yeah. I think it's kind of fun to do like when you get sponsored to do something unique. Like a higher effort ad thing than just be like, hell yeah, shout out to the Apple iBox. It opens and it closes. Then I'm going to show you a failed meme. Next, I'm going to show you a failed meme. This would be, it's about Baiken. I said, there's a tier list. It's a Winty tier list. I say Baiken is not that low. You show you're up playing, caught emoji. Not even close. This is a failed meme in my opinion. Because as we know, you gotta be more negative. I wasn't negative enough. Next, something I feel like didn't get memed enough. I thought this was gonna be one of the biggest fighting game memes of 2025 is fucking Lucy doing this. This is like right after the trailer dropped. I thought everyone was gonna fucking spam shit with this. Like Lucy meme stocks dropped so hard, like just fucking plummeted. If she was top 10, maybe. Actually, you're probably right. That probably is the reason. We did get something from this though. We did get Lord White, the Caucasian collector, has found yet another male mistress to tickle his fancy. From this. Actual poetry. When it's good, it's good. What can you say? We need this fellow to go into hip-hop or something, man. By the way, I was thinking about should I include these, especially because it's the first time I'm doing it, but I did not include my 2024 bangers. I have one tweet from 2024 that is like giga. It gets people still interact with it today all the time. I'm not gonna spoil it, but you've probably seen it. The Baki meme that I use, right, about RPS. Since I didn't use that, my actual number one meme of last year is this. It is a fucking Street Fighter meme. Best performing meme of the year. Super lazy. I have this saved on my phone. I think him dancing is fucking hilarious. My best performing meme was a Street Fighter meme. What's going on, bro? What's going on, bro? Maybe Lucy should have been top tier, bro. I just want people to remember this. I am saying this year again because in my heart it's still 2025. Yes, I was involved in the Arslan Ash haircut meme. Fresh fail. Oh my god, bro. Seeing this again for the first time in how long? Like 6 months? Who did this to you, man? This is actually the first thing I thought of when I saw that. When you get memed, you just hold it. When you get memed, you just hold it. You just let the meme run. Let the meme run its course. Quite literally everyone in fighting games, any well-known fighting game player interacted with this fucking tweet, man. Even though I said I wasn't going to talk about any 2024 things, there is one thing that I must mention, which is my own poetry that still endures. And honestly, I hope it does not endure into 2026. More fucking no skill, slam curse, slam backdash, bang, bang, bang. Oh, I run up. I actually thought it was okay, I run up. You could tell in the moment that I was truly in my flow state because I remember as bang, 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 okay, I run up. I always say okay, I run up. I actually didn't know that it was oh, I run bang, up. Bang, and my character could do nothing but predict it from the Mayan period and pray they forgot that Baiken is in the game. This is true. This is from the heart. This is an all-timer. At the moment, people told me to put my phone down and stop tweeting and my DMs are open, but this tweet endures. I speak for the people, my friends. I speak for the people. I speak for the people because I speak the truth and you weren't ready. So even though I said I wasn't going to mention anything from 2024, when I was putting these tweets together to talk about memes, this was coming up like today. Like people were retweeting this today, you know? What else did we do in 2025? We got to talk about videos next. This is my YouTube channel. We did a bunch of good stuff. Actually, one thing I really like to do when I look at YouTube channels is go to a popular and see how long ago it was since their most viewed videos are. Or like the good news is we had some pretty good videos last year, right? We had, of course, the scripting tier list endures, right? So I did 2 tier lists last year. I did the season 4. And then also there should be the final. It's around here. It's down here somewhere. Yeah. Another one was we do collabs. We do collabs because we love those. I did this video with Galwin Quote. I had a great time. And we're editing a video with him right now. I also did this with Diaphone, which should be around here. Terrible Texas Fighting Games with Diaphone as well. And we also did this with Justin Wong as well. Broken Moves is very fun. But the problem is... I was doing it slightly too much and we were doing too many at a time. So I was like, bro, I'm running out of moves, man. We're going to explore a little bit outside of our zone, if you will. Another video I'm very proud of actually from last year, even though it's wrong. Here it is, this one. I was actually very proud of this. This is the new Marvel game's most controversial mechanic. I was right about you need a really big incentive to break the wall in a fighting game. I was wrong about what the incentives were. It's intriguing and how do they want it to work and how are people going to interact with it. But I was actually just really happy with this video. I want to do more videos like that next year. Another thing about the channel for last year was this tab, the shorts tab. Yes, the shorts tab. Yes. So outside of sponsored content, which is very obvious when I do sponsored content, I wanted last year to be the year of like incremental expansion. Let's say you're new to content, right? People will tell you to do all sorts of shit. Get on Instagram, get on TikTok, do YouTube shorts. Very hard to parse what to actually do. And there was a point in 2020, I want to say 3, where I felt like I was getting very overwhelmed and I dialed everything back because I was actually doing a ton of stuff. I was like, I'm cutting fucking everything except for Twitch and YouTube long form, and that's it. And then incrementally expand. Then at the end of 2024, Beast Coast got bought by a European esports team and they kicked me and Jonathan Tenney off the team. And I was like, fuck. So I'm actually really happy that we did shorts. A lot of these shorts are from long form video, but the shorts algo is different. So if you scroll back enough, I do have, these are all like Twitch clips. I'm also extremely, even though this is giga clickbait, this is very, very clickbait if you haven't seen this.
Her throw animation, but she just can't throw.
Yeah, it's a hit grab instead. She has like a guard meter like under her life bar, but you notice like Rao doesn't. And the game has weight classes.
Where do we have
and
captions?
If somebody is lighter than the other character, then they can be guard focused.
That short is responsible for my first 1 million view month on YouTube ever. This is a huge part of it. This and the follow-up one are a huge part of it. The shorts did really well. We are using basically like my most successful long form videos for short form, and I just feel like it just makes a lot of sense Again, shorts have a different algorithm than long form, so it is reaching a new audience. Pretty cool. The numbers are different. Like how you have to think about it is different, but it's just really cool, and I'm gonna keep on doing it. If you've been enjoying it, cool. The last thing I'm really happy about with content from last year is this tab. Yes, I am multi-streaming. People have been asking me this for a long time for a bunch of reasons. I feel like the number one reason, of course, is the Twitch ads, which I apologize, but I had to turn that shit up when I got off the esports team. Smiley face. The inspiration was this because Twitch did a very fun thing where they don't archive your streams for more than 2 months. So you have to do something about it. The original thing was that you highlight it, and then they're like, we're also not storing your highlights for that long. We're only storing 100 hours worth of highlights. I had 1,200 hours of highlights. This one was a really big one because people had been asking all 2025, and I kept saying, I'll look into it. This really made it a priority for me. If you want a little extra juice, a little extra sauce, let me show you something. If you are on YouTube and you're like, man, I heard you playing Dizzy was hilarious. Where is it? It's because I wasn't doing the multi-stream yet. Here, after this stream, I was like, I have to multi-stream. So it's all a shit ton of playing, and I was like, yeah, we have to do it. But let's talk about L's content-wise, YouTube-wise. Let's talk about L's. You might be like, honestly, your channel looks pretty good. You know, things look pretty good. But the number one L is something for my heart is that if you scroll down enough to like a year or like 2 years ago, you'll start to notice you'll scroll through that period a lot. Like the 1 year ago and 2 years ago is like eternal. Like it just feels like there's so many videos because I am uploading way less. I uploaded way less videos in 2025 than I did in 2024. In 2025, let's use 1 year. Look how, like, from my perspective, this is not a lot. I realize this is actually still quite a lot of videos. It's just not almost every day to every day that I was doing previously. It's a good thing, but I feel like it kind of happened because of bad things. The number one reason why I was uploading less is because of these fellas. This is the team that bought Beast Coast. And one thing that Beast Coast did, one of the many amazing things that Beast Coast did, is that they paid for editors because they were like, damn, you are fucking putting shit out insano, so we're gonna help support you. And I loved that. They were a huge reason I was able to start the way that I did and so strong. Like at the beginning it was me, but then things like my current PC camera that you're seeing right now with the current qual, all that shit is all Beast Coast. Not being on Beast Coast immediately made things harder. I started taking more sponsors because I was like, any money I can get in, I would love to take. And trying to take more sponsors introduced everyone in Guilty Gear to this guy. You might be like, who is this? This is Brad Garlinghouse. He's into crypto because what happened is my shit got sniped by people trying to scam crypto. And then you got a great notification from me saying I was streaming about the newest economic opportunity to help out everybody who's struggling with their low tier in Guilty Gear. So it's not actually this guy. To be fair to him, this dude did not screw me over. People trying to hustle online invisibly. They use this guy as the face using my channel. That happened 2 times, right? That happened 2 times. My YouTuber friends, they patted me on the back when I was done, and they're like, you grew. Like that. Apparently, they called it a growth moment. Actually, a lot of fighting game players went through this. Rufamonger, Kizzy. I think there's a list. I think Gina has a list. But another thing that got me uploading less is what you see on the screen right now. This game, Guilty Gear. I played so much Guilty Gear, so much Guilty Gear. Another thing was I kind of, for lack of a better phrasing, I wrote pussyfooting on ideas I thought would be good. One example is actually a video I posted pretty recently, which is my most recent video. Times pro players were wrong. I actually had this idea in like 2023. This is an example of like, I've had the idea for a while. I thought the video would be great and like I just didn't do it. So I finally just like did it. But also I think I could have packaged this better. Next, we gotta talk about tournaments. It is actually this tweet. This is actually from when we went to EVO Japan. I went to TRF today. It's a small but historic arcade that is literally closing on Monday. We lost another one. So you may not know, but a lot of historical arcades in Japan are closing. It's on the 3rd floor of an SMT dungeon. And honestly, it's in like a corner. It is like a corner of a hallway. It's a corner of a hallway. Anyone who's watching this, who's been there, will tell you it is in a legitimate SMT dungeon. For me, it's two things. A lot of really good BB players used to play there. There's three things. A lot of Melty Blood used to be played there. And one of the best places to play HNK, which is at EVO. At EVO Japan, an EVO main game. This arcade is one of the best places to play it. On top of all of that, I went the day it was closed, like the day before it closed. What am I using this to lead to? Talking about tournaments? I went to hella tournaments, but I always go to hella Specifically, what I want to talk about for 2025 is all the locals I went to. These are monthlies. I went to New York. I went to so many locals. Not only did I go to locals, but I also went to new additions to AWT. We also had this happen last year. 100% off my Metafy if you have to play 1000 Winty, valid until December 31st, 2025. So this just ran out, by the way. If you needed this, it ran out yesterday at the time it's recording. The Great Baiken Civil War happened in tournament. May or may not remember, when we're talking about tiers, in Guilty Gear Strive Season 4.1, we're currently playing 4.2. I said I think Baiken is a mid-tier, but there are people who thought Baiken was worse, and a lot of people think that Baiken players underrate the character. So Winty decides to, anytime someone has to queue into a Baiken player, which is probably going to be me, to prepare them to fight Baiken to make sure I have a lower chance of winning the set. Where normally, if somebody has to play against a Baiken player for a tournament, I'm busy. Or I'm at a meeting, or I had to play someone else that day. My bad. I'm a dodger for my girl. So this hurt. This hurt a lot. This brought me great pain. But it also led to one of the biggest things for tournaments for me last year. So at the same time, I had to thank Win, because if you're a Guilty Gear OG, you might be like, holy shit. If you are a Strive player, you might be like, who is this guy? So you could follow Maruken, in my opinion, the best Baiken player in the world, who none of us have seen play since May, when I played him, but he left such a strong impact on me. All you gotta do is click this, and you can watch his games. Oh, you can't watch his games because he doesn't play ranked, he doesn't enter any tournaments, he doesn't play Celestial, he only plays in private lobbies. But one play session with him, it's a 3-person play session, that session had such a massive impact on how I play Baiken. The number one thing I got from playing Maruken, watching him play and playing with him, because we also played matches, is Baiken players are lazy. Yes, we are lazy. We are not using the character to her full potential. But also, she is harder than we think she is to play by a significant margin. And because of meeting with Maruken, we got some pretty good results in 2025. This is Combo Breaker, where I got 7th. I got 7th out of 619 players. I got 7th with Baiken. This is immediately after I came back from EVO Japan, which is my worst result of the year. At EVO Japan, I got not top 8, not top 16, not top 24, not top 48, 65th, somewhere in here. Tied with other really good players, by the way, like Jiro got 65th, for example. Literal tears and depressed about this. And then I play Maruken, and then I go home for 2 days, and everyone who I played immediately after was like, what the fuck happened to you? At our local practice session, we have a bi-weekly practice session, and I played Classified, and he was like, what the fuck happened while you were away? And I was like, I played the GOAT. Extremely happy with this. This is also the second time Baiken has made a super major top 8. And I did both. I'm responsible for both. I'm really happy with it. And I thought I played really well, and it was a very hard path. I went through Marvello, Leffen. So I played Keishu first, and I played Unbiased Ear for top 8. And I played my training partner Nitro, who went on to get 3rd. Another tournament I'm incredibly proud of would be this event, First Attack. My first tour win in any game, because in Dragon Ball I came close. I got 2nd, but I never won in Dragon Ball. This is solo Baiken, and main notables here are Diegobus, Kazam, and Aboy. Aboy 3rd at Evo, Kazam top 8 at Frosty Faustings, top 8 at I have hella tournaments this year actually. Diegobus, many of you would not know, basically, but if you are deep in tournaments, you would know him because he went to First Attack the previous season. He played Seylor. He cooks Kazam and a boy. I was shocked, actually. And I was like, damn, I don't know what my man ate that morning. I have no fucking clue, but he cooked. It was free. So I was really, really happy with this. It's Baiken's first official tour win. Shout outs to Riot for this. I went to Evo France. Okay. And I got 13th here. While I'm disappointed in the 13th, I am also pretty happy because it was under... I feel like I got an experience in tournament that I have not actually experienced. Because I was OD jet lagged. I was only in France for like 3 days. So I was pretty happy with this, and I got to play with a lot of European players I didn't get to play before, and this was cool, and I would like to go again if I get the chance. So I was pretty happy with this. Also, again, my training partner did very well. Nitro did very well at this tournament. He got 4th, and he got 4th beating somebody he lost to because I helped prep him. Speaking of AWT, we went to Thunderstruck once again. This was won by Nitro. This actually, I was not happy with this. I got 4th here, and I was actually pretty sad about this because getting top 3 here was actually the most important thing. We also went to Brazil once again. We went to Battle Colosseum. This is basically the end of the road. I got 3rd here, which would have been fine if I did better at Thunderstruck. So basically, because of Thunderstruck, I needed to get 2nd or 1st. I was also the top seed here, which I was like, damn, finally. But I lost a nail biter to Abi, and when I watched it, I was like, oh my god, I suck at the game. But that's part of tournaments, you know, like you look back and you just try to improve on what you did previously. In the end, I had a pretty decent run here. I thought if I could beat Kazam that I could win the tournament by winning 2 sets, but I didn't beat him, so it's fine. There was technically still a path for me to qualify via golds, but I thought it was too much. And what I mean by it was too much is to try to spend time focusing on improving the character rather than cramming for tournaments. In between now and the Evos, Strive 2.0 should be coming out. So depending on what happens there, if they take out anything that I've been like, damn, it's crazy that no one talked about this, if they take it out, I'll let you know. So as in what to expect from me, I'm going to Frosty, but I have no expectations and no goals with Frosty. I'm just going. You're basically just not going to see me compete unless you watch locals. If you watch local events, I'm very actively competing at local events, but you should not expect to really see me until Evo Japan, Evo, CEO, Combo Breaker, like those tournaments. Those are going to be my first big tournaments of the year. Next, I want to talk about Ls. I want to talk about Ls a little bit, just general Ls, because all we've been mostly talking about Ws. So I want to start here. People need to leave this fellow alone, but also you need to accept responsibility for what you said too. It's a joke, but I didn't say that shit, man. Hopefully you can reflect on the future. What am I talking about? I did a stream with SK on Guilty Gear, and it was a fun stream. We're talking about what characters do and trying to figure out what character she should play. Very late at night, a tweet is going around at how it's a screenshot, not a video clip, a screenshot of SK stream, and they're just saying that I downplayed Baiken and they're watching this live, and that's crazy. I got that phrase too, like, oh, I saw it at the wrong time, from Lotus. Every now and then you're gonna see something at the wrong time and you're gonna fucking crash out, and like you can't help it. As fighting games grow and as like I do more content and I do these incremental increases, like do YouTube shorts and do like multi-streaming and collab with people outside of fighting games or on the border of fighting games, or people are interacting with what I'm saying and doing than I am used to. One thing that you probably notice from just my front page, you'll notice there's like actually not a lot of tier lists. And one thing that people would harp on all the time is like, oh, you just put this out because Rens do, you put out this tier list because Rens do and stuff. I actually take the making a tier list very seriously. The thing that really made me mad was not only does it misrepresent something I said, but it misrepresents something that I said about something I really, really care about. Maybe I could make my explanations a little bit more clear. Right after a patch dropped, I'm saying, you think I'm recommending somebody who's never played Guilty Gear to play a character that loses to Faust and Asuka? It's like you're discouraging somebody from playing somebody they might want to play because of your perception of how a character is and stuff. You know, I'm talking to like someone who's like me, a super gamer sweat. Right, like we talked about it too, and she was like, "Yeah, that's how I would recommend stuff to you if you play like a hero shooter or something." I assume that if someone is like really, really serious game, like competitive gamer, they'll be like, "All right, like what hell do I not want to ever engage with or something?" And for me, I'm like, dude, having a bad matchup against an item character is fucking terrible. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible feeling. The thing is though, this is in my like I'm raging. I'm just like Twitter fingers and shit. So I feel like I need to take a little bit more time, especially when I'm mad, to make sure my explanations are clear. Because if I don't explain this, someone's like, dude, you're just discouraging new people from doing what they want to do, which is not what I'm trying to do. We also have mixed feelings about continuing it. I like doing it, but especially for the last 2 new characters, I don't like the comment section that much. I also think I'm low-key doing it to myself if someone's first experience of my content is a strongly disliked vid. So Guilty Gear is about to move to Guilty Gear Strive 2.0. They said there's going to be a handful of new characters, and that the update is going to come with 1 new character. So in season 4, they had 2 returning characters, Dizzy and Venom, and 2 brand new characters, Unica from the anime and Lucy from Cyberpunk. And when they showed these characters at EVO 2024, I committed to actually make a video about all of them, a strongly disliked video about all of them. It would be an interesting challenge to make a video about Lucy and Unica in that context, because they are brand new characters, right? So like, what do you even talk about? I'm happy I did it because I thought I did it in a pretty good way, and 2, I thought it was like an interesting challenge to think about, like, how can you make a video like that. But especially with Lucy, it was a bunch of people who didn't watch the video, and like in Lucy's case, it was all the people who never played the game, and I just felt like it was extra negative, even though the videos actually performed well, which was painful. It was a very weird mixed feeling, and I was just like, when I was done, I was like, man, maybe I should stop doing this, but I am gonna keep doing it. I made up my mind. I am going to keep doing it. If you didn't watch it, like, fuck you, honestly. If you're going to comment on it and not watch it, fuck you, man. I'm holding the line on that. So, with all that, we got a little bit more. I want to talk about public goals. So, I have public and private goals. The basics is, of course, improving on content, improving competition. I wish I could tell you specifics, but I'm not going to do that. But, yes. I can talk a little bit about content, but I'm not going to talk about competition. First thing I want to do, actually, for new things for 2026... is introduce the Lord Knight Zybatu, the official Lord Knight Zybatu. What is the Lord Knight Zybatu? That is the YouTube team that I work with. So first, Chad Draws. You are familiar with him. He's the OG. He's the editor I worked with the longest, since like 2022 probably. And any super long video, either like a collab with like Diaphone or Jamcrofts or Godwin quotes, any like super long vid or tier list, he does. Side note, he's probably editing the video about all characters of Vanquisher. By the way, shout out to my goat chat. Then we have Astrocat, who you may not be familiar with, but you should be, because this is the shorts goat. All these shorts are edited by Astrocat. The typical video on my main channel is edited by Astrocat, either 100% or like 70%. Dude is such a good editor. I cannot believe how good Astrocat is at editing. Just really amazing to work with, and I've been working with Astrocat for a long time. Also in the LK Zybatu. Another person in the LK Zybatu you will probably be more familiar with if you play Guilty Gear is Seylor.
Hey, that's my shoulder.
Seylor edits for Hotashi, used to edit for Romola, and it's for me. Seylor does LK Chronicles. Everything LK Chronicles is Seylor. Also, Seylor does my thumbnails too. And finally, the last one is Scrappy Sensei, who runs SQXL. TO makes YouTube videos, made a YouTube video about BB Tag. That honestly, I'm pretty sure this shit popped off, by the way. 250k views about BB Tag, 100k views about fucking Skullgirls, 70k about fucking Uni. That's Scrappy. He only has 16 videos on his channel. That's a goat. And Scrappy Sensei is my creative director. You could put that in your resume, Scrappy. My creative director. His job is to tell me to stop fucking capping. That's his job. His job is I gave him all the info I know about YouTube. Everything. Super exclusive YouTube accelerators, studies, notes, everything. I gave it all to him. And I was like, here you go. I need you. You could have this. You could fucking use it to improve your content and shit. And also, when I say some whack bullshit or say I want to do some fucking nonsense, tell me don't do that. That's his job. And he's been very, very helpful. He's been very, very, very helpful. This is the LK Zybatu. And our goal is to continue to aim to do what I think is missing from fighting games and what I find interesting. So, for example, all characters of Vanquisher is that. I'm not the first person to do it. Nubenheimer does that. Nubenheimer did it, making it into a YouTube video, making it specifically a long-form video that is scripted with a storyline. I think stuff like that is very missing in fighting games. I think there's a ton of interesting stuff that we can do in fighting games. And another thing about this is that it is putting into a more structured way what I've been doing, basically my main thing on fighting game YouTube, like, since forever. Talking about stuff that people don't really talk about, or talking about games that people don't really talk about, or talk about things in ways that people don't talk about, and even teaching people in ways that people don't really do. That's always kind of been my thing. And I think we could really do it in a bigger way by having this workflow done really well and working with this group. And it's been really good so far. And with their help, I'm able to do more incremental improvements too. So if you're a TikToker, by the way, you're going to see my shorts there. We will be working on a bunch of stuff about like Tokon and 2X and more of what you expect from me, but then also new things as well. Another really important thing. And we're actually going to circle back to something I mentioned before from the meme section. Is this. Remember we talked about this when we were having haha funny time, talking about all the best memes and stuff. This discussion always seems so pointless because it's always fellas who are never going to boot up Guilty Gear, Persona, P4, etc. who are like, numpad notation is so bad, what's the point? But when I go into another community to learn, I just do it. What does this have to do with this? We are going to do numpad notation mind control. In my videos in the future, I am never, ever going to say crouching slash, forward heavy, forward punch. I'm never going to say that ever again. I'm only going to say 6P, 2S, 6H, the shit that we be saying. 236. If I say quarter circle, sure. If I say quarter circle back, or let's say I'm making fun of Gold Lewis, say half circles, sure. If I'm making fun of Asuka, talk about quarter circles, sure. Besides that, only numpad. And I'm going to do this in a way that absolutely everybody can understand. We're going to do down arrow. We're going to do a quarter circle back. We're going to do this in videos. So when I say 214P in a video, there will be arrows on the screen and a button on the screen so that the person who hears the numpad notation can see what it is. We learned this from the cooking niche and the fitness niche, especially fitness, because a lot of these fellas live not in the US and they'll say like 70 kilos and they'll have the conversion into pounds right next to it. Instead of saying both, all my videos will always have numpad notation forever in all games. Even if I talk about Street Fighter, I will use numpad notation, but the arrows will be on screen so we can get everybody to learn numpad notation. Numpad notation mind control. First video for 2026. I say at the beginning of the video, the entire video will use numpad notation. However, there will be arrows on the screen, so you will know what the fuck I'm talking about. Tournaments like Boston Blue Bee and SQXL, right? The mid-size regional that we've been talking about that everyone is kind of worried about and stuff. I've kind of always had them as a goal, but last year I didn't do the best job of interacting with these events, partly because of the, the M80 like layoff, for lack of a better word, and not knowing whether I was even going to keep on doing this. Because like 3 times last year, I'm like, dude, the world is telling me quit the shit, bro. So I want to do this. I want to try to actively do it outside of the ones that It's like SQXL. Everyone's talking about in stream chat, SQXL, but other stuff. And at least in Q1, I want to go to 1. I have one in mind already because Paragon was talking about it. So I have one in mind already. Just want to try to be a little bit better about this thing in particular. There's one more thing. Just one more thing I want to talk about. You might remember this. I actually could give 2 shits about awards. However, I get annoyed that what happens is they say the nominations for awards. They say that they're accepting nominations for these award shows. No one gives a fuck. They say who's nominated. All of a sudden, everyone gives a fuck and are mad. By the way, people are extremely angry. Usually the main response, which is a correct response, is, well, why didn't you nominate the person that you actually wanted to vote for? So I have set an alarm. I believe it's September 20th to remind myself about this. Because the Evo Awards are soon. I mentioned it, but it's all about fighting games. So like 1, I don't care too much. 2, I think it will be a little bit closer to what fighting game players care about. This one specifically, because of how big the drama was, I am trying to become one of the actual nominees for this. And so what's going to happen is around this date, or whatever the date is where they start accepting nominations, I'm going to push it super hard. We don't have to win. I'm not saying we have to win. We're just gonna put ourselves here when the inevitable Y is XYZ here. Because no matter what, by the way, no matter basically almost anyone in these slots, people are gonna have a problem with. I say I'm here, not Punk. People are like, oh, why the fuck's Punk? Why the fuck? Okay, here, not Punk. He streams like fucking Guilty Gear. Who gives a fuck? Just so that we could hit them with the, you should pay attention to the nominations if you're going to pretend to care about these awards, because you don't give a fuck about these awards, bro. You pretend. You already forgot. This shit happened at the beginning of December and people forgot about this. So I want to be involved in this time. Right? Because I love discourse, bro. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to 2026. Hoping to share stuff with y'all on YouTube. The last thing I will really say is that you can also look forward to a new, let's say, premium, planned, better content on YouTube. And we'll see how it goes. I'm really looking forward to this year. And thank you. That took a while. 2025, going to 2026.